Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We are here with one of our awesome fifth grade social studies teachers, Mr. Horace Stone, and today he's going to be discussing the power of restorative communication and also the power of positive talk. So the format we're going to use is I'm going to ask him a few structured questions and he'll respond in kind. The first question will be, how has the use of positive talk transformed you as a professional?
The use of positive talk has transformed me as a professional in the sense of being able to be open with children, being able to collaborate with children, and talk to children in a positive manner in which it gives them and it promotes hope. A lot of times what happens is that we in our profession, we get bogged down, we get frustrated, we get upset, we get agitated, and things go on in that scenario. But what happens is when we have a positive communication with the students, not only do we feel better about what we're doing, but at the same time, we're uplifting them. And we're causing them to feel that they can do even above or greater than their expectation.
Oh, great. Thank you. So, along those lines of student transformation, do any individual occurrences come to mind as far as transformations you've seen in students as you have progressed along this trail of using, or rather, along this usage of positive teacher talk?
Yes. What I started out in early on in my career is I would address the negative actions of students. Stop doing this. John, sit down. Why are you being disrespectful? You're being hard-headed. That was addressing the negative behavior. Now in my classroom, what I try to do is I try to accentuate the positive deeds of the students. You know what? I love the way that you handled the situation. You guys could have fussed and fought, but you came together and you had a positive meeting of the minds. Man, I really like the way that you are now taking your work and your homework seriously and you're structuring your work properly. As you speak positively to the young people, what I've noticed in these segments is that they are starting to communicate amongst themselves in a positive manner.
So it's kind of a not only transformative but a transferal.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Maybe you could speak on one specific strategy that I've observed. Multiple times when I've come in your classroom, I have observed that when speaking to students, you very often take a seat and you sit next to the students or you sit at their level as opposed to standing over them. Could you tell me a little bit about what drives that?
What drives that is that I believe that we have to be, as teachers, we have to be one with the classroom. Sometimes everybody knows that we're the authority figure in the classroom, that we run the classroom, that we are getting the children all on board. But sometimes we have to be personable. And what I mean by personable is sometimes we have to be engaging and go to the actual seats or the grouping of seats where the kids are working. So you can sit down and you can actually have a mano-a-mano communication or even a structured group communication. Here at Fisher, what we believe in is collaborative study, meaning that we work in groups. Instead of us being in rows how it used to be, we put our desks in groups and we collaborate to come up with different answers. So I believe that group study and interaction is good, and I believe that as I come and I sit down and I talk with the groups, I have more of a hand on the pulse of what's going on in my classroom.
Okay, so if I understand correctly, you are utilizing in your classroom a shared power dynamic as opposed to a top-down power dynamic. You sit down next to the students to become at their level to encourage mutual respect-based communication as opposed to you simply towering above them and dictating commands or orders.
Yes, this is considered to be a democracy in my room until you cross over those rules that we have set in place.
Which is fitting for a social studies teacher. Okay. So, in your progression towards restorative communication and powerful, mutual respect-based communication with your students, were there any tools or any books that aided with your transition?
Well, there was definitely one. Teacher Talk was outstanding. Teacher Talk tells the teacher and teaches the teacher how to be able to positively communicate with students, how to be able to, at the same time, even if there's an infraction that the student has made against you, the teacher, how you are able to take an I statement. I statement meaning that I'm going to take ownership of the offense that was done to me. I'm going to also break down how I felt about the offense, and then how we can come back and we can work together to diffuse the total situation. Example, I correct the child and say, listen, Billy, Billy, you were talking very nasty to me today. And Billy says, well, I was upset. You did this, you did that. And so I come back with the I statement. I see, Billy, that you were upset and you felt a certain way. I understand how you felt. I also see, Billy, that even though you communicated in that way, you totally disrespected me as a teacher and a head of you. But now I want us to come together to see how we can work this total situation out so we can get to the bottom of this issue and we never have to come this way again. That's positive teacher talk, an effective way of being able to diffuse a problem.
Well, Mr. Stone, thank you so much for taking the time to positively and articulately illustrate and lay out for us a few strategies for positively communicating with students using mutually respect-based strategies, and also giving us a few strategies. So, or rather not a few strategies, but also illustrating your philosophy. Thank you very much, Mr. Stone.
Thank you.